And there came a day unlike any other, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Comics Daily from Scorcher Hill, hosted by Brian Keown and Matt Wood. From Scorcher Hill, this is Star Wars Comics Daily. I'm Matt Wood.
And I'm Brian Keown.
Welcome to episode 144 of Star Wars Comics Daily, Star Wars Legacy number 36. Star Wars Legacy number 36 was released May 28, 2009.
Story is by John Ostrander. Artist is Omar Francia. Colorist is Brad Anderson. Letterer is Michael Heisler. And the cover is by Sean Cook.
This is our second time attempting to record this episode. And man, it's one of those cases where it's like everything's working against us, Brian.
The Force does not want this to have to tell people about this episode. This issue.
Like, call recorder wasn't working at one point. My phone recording the video of the episode wasn't recording at one point. Everything seems like it's working. So I don't know what it takes for us to give up on an episode. But I don't know how much more I can take of just stuff not working.
Yeah.
Especially for this episode that we hate.
We have successfully tried to blow it off, talk about anything else we can possibly talk about before we started recording.
I mean, yeah, we talked about the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito vehicle, Jr., starring Emma Thompson, who Brian mistook for Danny DeVito.
No, I just remembered someone holding a stethoscope to his stomach, and I thought it was Emma Thompson, but she's behind him, cradling him as Danny DeVito holds the stethoscope to his stomach.
We should also mention that neither of us have actually seen Junior.
That's true.
But we are intrigued. Well, I'm intrigued enough to actually watch it.
I'm probably not, unless you report back that it was amazing. And I don't know that I would believe you anyway.
What if I said that it was like so wild that you just have to see it?
I'll probably say it hasn't been out for like 25 years and I haven't seen it yet. I'm probably okay.
Okay, all right. Because occasionally there's see what we're doing. You see what we're doing,
right?
Guys, this issue is a mess, and it's one of those Star Wars Legacy issues that we've referenced where it feels like, much like what we're doing, it's refusing to get to what people are enjoying.
Yep.
I think editorially speaking, I think there is a thing where you have essentially a comic book. By 2009, I would say people highly revered John Ostrander, right? To the point where he probably could do whatever he wanted.
I would imagine, especially in Star Wars, Dark Horse Star Wars, because he's, who knows, I don't know how many issues of these he's written, but I'm sure he's written just a ton of them. So
this is probably towards the end. I don't know if Ostrander did much post Star Wars Legacy for Star Wars.
I would imagine, because the next series of Legacy is Gabriel Hardman.
He still to this day has the record for the most written Star Wars Charles Soule is like 60 away from being able to beat John Ostrander's record.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
Yeah. And, we've said it before with these. Maybe he's building to something we're just not seeing, but it's really frustrating that. I mean, at least Garstazi's in this comic, but I don't care about him either. But, I mean, at least he's a character we've seen before.
And I can't remember because we were recording this episode yesterday. And everything just kind of went kaput. But you were saying things like, this issue is weird. I'm going to get into the summary here in a second, but I don't think it's appropriate right now. I think there still needs to be some kind of preface to it. But you were saying, like, it, and I agree with you, that it's confusing because you have three different teams of characters. Mm-hmm. You have Garstazi, who's, like, in charge of, like, we'll just say the rebellion.
Right, the Galactic Alliance is what they call it.
Right. Then you have one guy who is the Imperial Ronan Fell side, and then you have another where it's the Imperial Darth Krayt side. And Garstazi of the Alliance is teaming up with Ronan Fell's Imperials. And the whole issue is like a back and forth of like, we don't cross this line, and it's a shaky alliance. And, while I was reading it the first time, I could not have told you what happened in the comic after I finished it.
Well, and then the other problem is that both Imperial groups have the same ships, the same costumes, they're indistinguishable from each other.
Exactly. I literally think they gave one facial hair.
Right, yes. I mean, I'm sure
but they're wearing the same clothing. They're wearing like the cliche Imperial outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all in Star Destroyers. They all have TIE fighters.
Sure.
Or the TIE Eyes, whatever they call them.
And, we also want to make sure that we say, like, Omar Francia here, this is...
Yeah, the art's good. Yeah, I think we talked about... I said last time that it's probably the best art he's done so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, there's a lot of good things in this comic, but I think it needs to be reined in. And I don't know if I can fully blame Ostrander, because Ostrander's... He's getting really...
Well, it's world building is what he's doing. The problem is it needs to be anchored by someone that we care about.
Exactly.
And I just don't care about Garstasi anymore. I mean, like even like I think I said it in the last time we did one of these with the Calamaris. If it was like Marasaya or somebody, one of these characters that we've at least been introduced to is kind of on the sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And and also, I think the problem is we're reading this with hindsight, knowing that there's only like 12 issues of Legacy left, and it's kind of like...
Well, there's more than that, but still.
But not much more. Not to the point where it feels necessary that we take this detour. But who knows? Who knows?
I get a feeling this is all going to pay off in that War miniseries that ends it all, but...
I get the feeling that the War miniseries is going to be the most frustrating thing that we've ever gone through.
Maybe.
I just feel like I feel like there's nothing that convinces me that there is less of this kind of comic in our future.
Well, I did look ahead, and there's only, I think, either 3 or 4 of these where it's Jan December's not doing the art, and it looks like there's, Garstasi stuff. Like the next one actually looks like it's got Marasai and Garstasi in it.
No, that's cool, but you just said there's 4.
Right. 3 or 4, I can't tell because the Dark Horse trades don't have chapter breaks. So I like one of those stories that look pretty long, so I think it's 2 issues. But the other one looks like it's 1. But the other one is pretty funny because that one has absolutely no one I recognized in it.
Not even Garstasi.
Not even Garstasi.
Great.
It was closer to the end of the series, though.
How bad is it that Garstasis are anchor?
That's what I'm saying. That's, I think, the biggest problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Like maybe if one of the Imperial Knights was in it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of don't care about those characters either, but at least I sort of care.
They've been on the fringe of characters that we're interested in, whereas Garstasi has just kind of shown... Garstasi has literally, aside with like Ronan Fell, he has not interacted with a character that I care about.
Yeah, maybe if it was like Shadow was going back to the temple and got caught up in this battle or something, that might have been interesting.
Yeah, or like this is like something that Nathan Skywalker, what was his name? Nathan.
Yeah,
Nate. Yeah.
Or Nat.
Nat.
N-A-T. N-A-T. Not
But yeah, that's at least something. Even the guy that's like on deck, I'm not even interested in him. But Garstasi, just I don't get it. But okay, you ready?
Let's hear it. I'm excited to hear.
Okay, literally, it cut out while I was going through this summary last time we recorded.
Right.
So this is a long one. It may not be, but
that's what I said yesterday. I was expecting either one sentence where it was just like this is all BS, or like some kind of crazy complicated thing, which it sounds like you went with number 2.
No, I went with. Let me explain this comic to you like you're 5.
Okay.
Okay. And that's the first word of my summary is the word okay. Admiral Kelson is in charge of Darth Krayt's Imperial Navy. Garstasi is in charge of the Galactic Alliance fleet. Admiral Fennel is in charge of Ronan Fell's Imperial Navy. Garstasi and Fennel have created an alliance that hopes to overthrow Kelson's control. They are going to surround his fleet with their ships and force a large number of Krayt's ships to be surrendered to Ronan Fell's side. Garstasi and Fennel are reluctant allies, but allies all the same. Vaselin Tor is in charge of a ship called the Steadfast that is in Krait's navy, and he doesn't want to surrender. Fennel has his ships fire upon the Steadfast, including Kelsin's ship. Kelsin refuses, tells his ships to self-destruct, and all crew aboard to get in their life pods. Fennel says he will shoot the life pods. Garstasi and his boys feel that this is bad form and feel like maybe Fennel is a crappy guy to team up with. Stasi orders his men to shield the life pods that belong to Krait's navy from the firing of ships on Fell's side. He also declares that their alliance is now over. Kelsin calls Stasi and says, "Hey man, we're cool. Also, heads up, I'm going to go down with my ship." Stasi thinks that's pretty dope, and he has newfound respect for his enemy. Fennel still intends to destroy the Steadfast, so Stasi and his ship turn and defend it against Fennel's. Fennel backs down. Neither the Alliance nor Fell's empire gets any of Krait's ships. Fell calls Stasi. Stasi reminds Fell that given the current political climate, they both have equal authority. Fell acknowledges that Fennel is a real exhaust port. Stasi agrees to turn the Steadfast and its men to Fell. For now, they remain reluctant allies. Nothing has changed. Nothing was accomplished. This is Star Wars Legacy 36. How'd I do?
Pretty good. Well, I mean, it's easier to, because you're saying this guy's this name. It's because when I'm reading it, I'm just like, well, there's a guy in an Imperial suit. Who is that guy again?
Yeah. Who's what guy? Are you asking me a question or are you being rhetorical?
No, that's what I was thinking as I read the comic book.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's all these like, well, I'm on your side now. Well, no, you're on my side. I'm on this side now. And like, what is going on?
Well, as I got to the end, I wrote that whole nothing has changed, nothing was accomplished after the realization of, wow, they are literally like, no one got extra ships.
Yep.
No one we know is dead.
Sure.
And they're still allies, even though this was a messy situation. And it is a like Garstasi is as reluctant as he was at the beginning of this comic.
Sure. Right, because the crux of what I got out of it is that the Empire was like, well, we're the Empire, so you report to us, Garstasi. And he's like, no, I don't, dude. We're equals.
Yeah.
And so that's the lesson that Rowan Fell theoretically learns, is that, he's got to treat Garstasi as an equal rather than an underling. But I bet that doesn't stick.
I bet that it doesn't stick because I don't know anything about Rowan Fell.
That's true, except that he's the Emperor.
Exactly, and
vaguely evil.
He's not as bad as Krayt, but he's still a bad guy. Yeah,
right.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the point of the story, is that to show that Garstasi's not going to, like, as at one point he says, I'm not taking orders from any empire, so I'm going to help the Steadfast or whatever.
Doesn't this kind of feel like a Star Trek?
Yeah, sort of. It's definitely kind of
like
a
morality.
Morality play type thing. Sure. Yeah, I could see, yes, if this was Klingons and Romulans and the Federation, and John
Federation teams up with the Romulans
rather than the Klingons or whatever.
The Klingons are showing some like. Yeah. I guess it would be the reverse, maybe, because the Klingons are more bloodthirsty.
Depends on what era you're talking about, but
yeah. Exactly.
But like, say the Vulcans and the Romulans, because the Vulcans are always theoretically good guys.
Okay, but the Vulcans are like, no, we really want to kill these Romulans.
Right, exactly.
And then John Kirk's like, or John Luke, yeah, sure.
Right.
Is like,
or Kirk. Well, Kirk would probably say, "Screw it, let's kill them all."
No, because there's an episode with the Gorn, and
Kirk is generally way more into having sex and killing people, whereas Jean-Luc is like, let's be a diplomat here.
But don't you remember the Gorn episode with the Greek gods? And they're like, okay, now you get to kill the Gorn. And then Kirk's like, he's like, you're going to have to go somewhere else for your entertainment.
Sure.
I won't kill him. He's just protecting his own territory. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm seeing a Gorn situation here.
Okay.
I hate this conversation.
Yeah. So anyhow, in Junior, Arnold is pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm at my wit's end with these issues at this point, and it's a bummer because I want to like it, but I can't really find anything positive in it. Like you said, it ends up being pretty pointless.
Omar Francia is pretty dang good.
No, the art is good for sure. Oh yes, I'll give you that.
Let me give you my takeaways from this issue. Just like things that passed by that I thought that's interesting.
Well, you definitely looked at it way harder than I did.
Okay.
Because you had to figure out your synopsis, whereas I just read it as like, this is garbage, and just closed it and moved on.
So that page where Fennel announces, all right, attention all the people that are aboard these ships. This is Fennel.
Mm-hmm.
Turn yourself over, and it'll be cool. And it's just all these panels. We see this one panel where it's an alien in a stormtrooper costume. I found that kind of interesting because it's just a thing I'm not used to seeing.
Sure.
Okay.
Now I'm confused because I'm looking and I'm seeing this guy, the guy who's like, I command the Steadfast, and his name is not Fennel, so now I'm all super confused.
No, we're not talking about the guy that controls the Steadfast. The guy that controls the Steadfast is Vaselin Tor.
Yes, okay.
Okay. The guy who is teaming up with Garstasi is Admiral Eduardo Fennel.
Okay.
And he's the one that...
I got you. Okay, yes. Here, okay. Tor reports and Fennel's like, no way, I'm going to kill you anyway.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Tor says to Fennel, I'm not going to surrender. And he tells Kelson, he says, Kelson, this is a... I'll turn to the page for the viewer. He says, Kelson, this is not protocol. We're supposed to fight until we're dead, essentially.
Yep.
And, Fennel looks like Don Knotts.
He does a little bit. Just in a few spots, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that page where Fennel is making his special announcement, and they're all listening. We see we see inside various Imperial ships, and we see a few aliens that are working with the Empire, and I found that to be very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I like is the panel where you can kind of see there are some dudes that are going to be mutinous in one way or another. I don't know towards who. I just know that clearly they disagree with other members of their crew.
Well,
so they pull out guns and they shoot them.
That's where your boy Fennel is over the loudspeaker saying, "Hey guys, on the crate ships, your emperor as Rowan fell. You should shoot your friends and join up with me." And a couple of guys do,
right?
Or at least they shoot some guys.
Yeah. And I just thought that was kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, that's your buddies.
Yeah, Garstasi's not cool with that either. He's like, "You're encouraging mutiny." He's like, "Well, yeah, and." Because we want those ships. He's like, well, I don't know.
Does Tor die?
I assume he does. Doesn't his ship get all blown up? I don't know. Like I said, I got no clue.
No. Wait, maybe. It says voice only. Whatever.
I mean, a bunch of those... Because that's the reason they don't get any ships. I mean, a bunch of those Star Destroyers get blown up. I mean, I think they're self-destructing or whatever, but... Yeah, I don't know. I don't see where that dude shows back up again, so I guess he is dead. I don't know.
Yeah. We get to see a prune face.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't see him that often. That prune face alien that
I
often.
don't even. I don't know what you're even talking about. But
in Return of the Jedi, there's some prune faces in Jabba's palace, and there's also some prune faces that like fight with the rebels. And like you see him, you know that scene where you first see Mon Mothma in Return of the Jedi. There's one like alien that has a butt head,
okay.
and he has like an eye patch, and he's toting a gun, and he's like I think his action figure was called Prune Face.
Are you talking about the guy that hangs out with Garstasi?
Yeah, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not Garstasi's boy.
Like his second in command. Who's in that other story?
Right.
The
Jerome Bay. Jerome Bay. That's the alien.
Okay.
Jerome Bay.
I still don't even know who you're talking about, but okay, whatever.
The prune faces are known as Drazilians.
Okay.
And I would send you a picture, but I'm on the other computer, so
it's fine.
You see him. He's in a panel where it's right. He's in charge of like the map. He's doing what?
Okay. I see what you're talking about.
You know the lady that's in Empire Strikes Back that says like "Stand by, ion control" in the Battle of Hoth. She's like one of 3 women to have a speaking line in the original trilogy.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. It's like Tomor or something. I don't know. I knew her name at one point, and I'm sad to say that I can't remember it. But he's basically doing what she does in this comic. But
right,
I'm not going anywhere with this. I'm just saying it's cool that alien's here because I don't see him that much.
Okay.
This is a bad episode of this show.
Yeah.
You see a lady rebel pilot or a lady alliance fighter.
I guess that's what she is because she's in some ships I don't recognize, so I don't know whose
side
she's on.
But you know that she's alliance because that uniform's not.
But couldn't be an X-wing. Can't be in an X-wing. She's got to be in some weird ship I've never seen, so I don't know whose side she's on.
The technology has clearly improved. Brian, would you like to know more about the ships?
They don't. They look awful. They don't look half as cool as an X-wing. But go ahead.
You're not wrong. I think you are referring not a Tri-Scythe class frigate.
It's the woman you're talking about. She's the pilot of one of them.
The TIE fighters are the Predator class fighter.
But those are the TIE eyes, right? They aren't actual TIE fighters. They're the ones that have the wings.
You're talking about a CF-9 Crossfire Starfighter.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, and they are exclusive to Star Wars Legacy.
I mean, it makes sense if we're in the future. Like you said, theoretically they're better than X-wings, but they don't look as cool.
You will see them in 3 more issues. I'm going to assume they are the issues that are very much like this.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, war has got to be, it's got to be the actual war where Garsazi and Ronfell and the Krait's guys all fight each other for dominance or whatever, and somehow our wacky crew of rebels, or well, they're not rebels, scumbags, get involved somehow.
Douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get swept up in that, and then
I mean that's got to be what it is. But...
Yeah, and then sides are going to have to be chosen.
Yes, Kate is going to have to commit to somebody at some point.
Commit yourself, boy.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that's going to end.
Sure.
And it's going to be the best miniseries that we've ever read.
Could be.
I'm hoping that it is.
I am too.
But I'm expecting that it won't.
I'm expecting, surely not the best miniseries I've read. Probably, I can't imagine it would be, but hopefully it's at least entertaining.
It's slightly worse than Justice League: The Nail. So it's the second best miniseries I've ever read.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Justice League: The Nail is amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be that good. I'm sorry. I don't know that anything we're going to read in Star Wars is that good. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
we should do a Justice League the Nail podcast.
Okay.
And we can, dear listener, if we get to $100 on Patreon, we will introduce a 5th episode. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, God, is it just going to be more of this? It won't be. We'll do other comics that are fun.
Probably not Justice League comics. So
No, we'll probably do other Star Wars comics, but yeah, it'll lessen the sting of this kind of issue. Theoretically. Brian, I'm calling it. I think this thing's dead on arrival.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a bad comic. I didn't enjoy it. I'm hoping for something better.
Yeah, let's talk about Lando tomorrow. Lando's going to be much better.
Lando's going to be a cool comic. It's drawn by Alex Maleev. It's written by Charles Soule. It's going to be the first comic that we've ever covered by Charles Soule, whom I've mentioned is the second most prolific Star Wars writer. He actually might not be. I can't remember if Kieran Gillen's got a few more on Charles Soule. But
I think we decided he probably didn't, but I don't remember.
Yeah. But it's close, regardless.
If in any case, he will be soon. If it's
right, he shows no
Kieran
sign.
Gillen's not writing Star Wars.
He shows no sign of leaving Star Wars anytime soon.
Oh no! Yes.
Yeah, he's doing very well for himself.
He's one of the architects of the High Republic, right?
Exactly. So, yeah. But I don't think he's writing a comic for the High Republic.
No, he's writing the first novel, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Of which I guess the first chapter came out today for you people listening in 3 weeks in the future.
Right. Yeah, I haven't read it, and I probably won't either.
I won't either. I mean, it's so long before the novel comes out. I'll just have forgotten anyway.
Exactly. But it's nice to know that a lot of that stuff's probably already done.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's totally. I'm sure he's written it. Yeah,
they're just holding off until everything is done, and they can make this a nice release thing. Yeah, so cool. I respect that.
Sure.
I don't respect this comic. I respect the art.
Yeah.
It's lettered well.
Sure. Colored well too.
Yep.
That was real good.
Yep. You have to remember, even in a bad comic, there are things in there that are incredibly admirable.
Usually.
Yeah. The comic is like a movie. Anytime that they're created, it's a small miracle. It's a lot of people that come together and see something through. Sometimes parts of that finished product are less than desirable. And this is a less than desirable comic book. But that's not going to dissuade us. As we mentioned, tomorrow we're covering Lando #1. So please make sure that you join us tomorrow. From Star Wars Comics Daily, I'm Matt Wood.
And I'm Brian Keown.
And until tomorrow, may the Force be with you.